Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Luke, and today we're going to be talking 2025 Cornhuskers football. Week 0, the Cornhuskers play Cincinnati in Arrowhead, which is essentially a neutral site game that'll be packed by Cornhuskers. I'm going to go over a little bit of Cincinnati's offense and how I think that we're going to approach them defensively, and then I'll go over their defense a little bit and how I think that we're going to attack them. Just a quick overview of Cincinnati before we jump into the breakdown. They went 5-7 last year, but it was really a tale of two halves of the season, similar to the Huskers. They started 5-2 and they beat Arizona State, who ended up being a playoff team, and then they ended up struggling at the end of the season and they lost 5 in a row to miss a bowl game. The more games I watched from Cincinnati, that seemed like a theme in their games as well. They would start hot and then falter towards the end of the game. So week 2, they played Pittsburgh and they were up 27-6. And then Pittsburgh came back in almost entirely in the fourth quarter and won 28-27. They didn't score another point. They also had games towards the end of the season where they only scored 14 or 17 points, but they were ahead 14-7 or 14-0 and then ended up losing. Cincinnati's offense is a very run-heavy offense. It reminds me of a high school offense where even on their passing plays, it's already predetermined where the ball is going, and a lot of stuff is attacking the flats. They almost never have progressions on their passing plays. It's all just to catch the defense off guard and catch them out of position when they're trying to stop the run. We see another passing play, tight end delay, come out over the middle. And that's what you're going to see most of the time with them. Their passing plays are all designed for easy pitch and catch to get the ball into playmakers' hands and let them make a play. They're not going to threaten downfield very much. This is like about the most middle of field you're going to get, and it's still behind the line of scrimmage. There's a passing play where Sorsby just gets to make a read and go downfield. Interception. And the interception's not great, but it's also not entirely his fault. Cincinnati had bad receivers. They just couldn't separate all year, so he just had to force some balls up there and hope a guy would make a play. So this is going to be the mesh rail play. You're going to see this guy has this receiver right here. He's rushing. He's matched up right here. He's matched up with this guy. This guy is supposed to have the running back, and he doesn't. Boom, boom. He's supposed to have the running back. He has no idea who he's got. But they run mesh rail. So they're going to go in. Running back's going to go out. This guy should go out. He never even goes out, so it doesn't matter. But easy play. First down. When they run the ball, it's primarily an outside zone or a split zone running scheme. They do have some option elements mixed in there because Sorsby's a runner. So their offense forces your defense to be very disciplined when you're playing against them. Otherwise, they'll catch you out of position and they'll get a long touchdown. We're going to take a look at a couple split zone and outside zone plays, and I'll go over why these plays work for Cincinnati. After that, I'll go over what I think our defense should do to slow down their running game. The first play we're going to look at is against Arizona State. They're going to run a wide zone play to the wide side of the field. The idea is that we're going to see all these linemen are going to run to the right, and the running back's going to flow with them to the right. And these defensive linemen, if they go over the top, the lineman's going to push them upfield. If they go underneath, the lineman's going to push them upfield either way. And then the running back's just going to make a decision. The way I like to describe it is like chasing your little brother around the coffee table. You go one way, he's going to run the other way. So they're just letting the defensive linemen pick their paths, and whatever path they're naturally running on, they're going to guide them along that path and prevent them from crossing their face. And then the running back's going to be able to cut off of that. And they have excellent running backs that make really good cuts, really fast, and we're going to see that right now. So we'll watch it play. We're going to take a look at this play in slow motion, and I'll show you how everything flows together and why it works. We're going to see this linebacker shoot the gap, and the center's going to pull back and then ride him up the field. So we'll watch that real quick. So the play is supposed to go to the wide side of the field. So everybody's going to run to the right. And the running back's just going to make a cut based on what the D-line and the linebackers do. Okay, so this linebacker's blitzing. This guy goes up, and he's got to ride him up the field, so he can't get a clean path. The running back cuts back off of him. He's wide open, cuts off the back. His tail there. And again, all the linemen are just flowing one way, and the running back's just going to make a cut based on which way the D linemen go. You'll see these guys on the front side go over, so he cuts under. These guys go under, so he runs over. So he's over, over, under, 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 under. And that's how it goes. It's literally perfect. This next play is a really fun play design from Cincinnati. It's a wide zone play, but it's also a triple option play. So they're going to run a wide zone play to the right with the dive back. So he's going to be crossing the quarterback's face, and then the quarterback and the pitch man are going to be going out to the left, and they have a lead blocker. So we'll take a look at that. Quarterback keeps it. And he is a good runner, so that's something to be aware of. We'll take one more look at it because it's a fun play. But wide zone to the right, triple option to the left, and they've even got some motion in there. So we're going to watch two plays real quick. And these two plays I think are going to give us the key to how I think we should defend them. So they're going to run a lot of split zone, option, and wide zone. On this play, we're going to count the number of linemen. So we have 6 linemen, and we have 1 blocker plus 1 running back. So they have 8 guys accounted for in the running game. Quarterback doesn't count. This isn't an option play. And then we have 4 D linemen, 4 linebackers. So that's even, but we actually have an advantage to the defense because it's a one-on-one with the running back. So the running back has to make somebody miss. There's going to be 1 guy blocked at least. I think the key for our defense is attacking this mesh point. So when the quarterback turns around to hand it off, when the ball is in the quarterback's hands and the running back is touching it, that's the quote-unquote mesh point. So if you get a guy at the end of the line of scrimmage and can just blitz in off this angle at the mesh point, if he hands it off to the running back, everybody else is accounted for. If he doesn't, then the quarterback's just going to get smoked. So we'll watch the first play, they hand it off. The second play, you're going to see Colorado attack that mesh point. And this is what I think we're going to do. We're going to have a lot of guys at the line of scrimmage. We're going to blitz every play, fill up those lanes, and it should slow down the running game as well. All right, so this play, we're going to watch the mesh point. This guy runs, and he attacks the mesh point. So right there, you see, if the quarterback would have kept it, he's getting smoked by this guy. So that takes the quarterback out. That takes play action out of the play. And then everybody else over here in the box has to account for the running back. Running back makes a cut. They come up nicely. The running back still gets 6 yards. That was a good game by the offense, but that's how I think that we're going to attack their offense. This is a look that Cincinnati got in a lot versus Colorado that I think we'll be able to take advantage of. They have 3 down linemen and just 2 linebackers, and they have 6 DBs off the ball. If we have 7 guys in the box versus 5 with Dylan and then the running back, we should be able to take advantage of these light boxes with Emmett all day and run at their defense and just pick up constant yards. So until they take the safety and walk him down right here or move this guy closer into the box, we should see Emmett take advantage of these light boxes repeatedly. So Cincinnati obviously plays in the Big 12 and they face a lot of open offenses. I picked the Colorado game because I think the Colorado personnel and playbook most resembles what we're going to look like in 2025. Shedeur Sanders was a guy that could spread the ball around and run a little bit, but wasn't considered a runner. I would put Dylan in the same category. Obviously, I think Dylan's way more talented than Shedeur was, but they have a similar style from a QB perspective as far as what they can do with their legs and then what they're trying to do on offense. Dana has always had an air raid attack with heavier run schemes, so I think we'll run the ball more than Colorado did. but I think the way that Cincinnati played against Colorado's offense is going to be similar to the way they game plan against our offense. Athlete for athlete, we're going to have much better athletes, which means they're not going to want to go man coverage a lot of time. Similar to the Colorado game, they primarily sat in zones, so we'll watch this. But they have this 3-down lineman look. They usually only have 2 linebackers, and then they'll have 6 safeties. And that's just so they have more speed on the field, so they can come up and make tackles like that. Look at another play here. Basically, your 3-down linemen, your 2 linebackers, and then you're going to have 6 secondary players. So you got 2 corners over here, and usually they do a 3/2 or a 3/3. So we've got 3/2. So 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. 1 over here. You got 2 over there, and then the rest of the guys are going to be in middle of the field coverage, which would be this safety right here. I think they're going to play us a similar way, where they're going to try and keep a couple guys back so they don't get beat deep, and then they'll have a couple guys who are just sitting and watching the quarterback when the ball comes out and try and flow and make tackles. Keep hearing about this gentleman named the Godfather, Dante Corleone, who is a defensive tackle for Cincinnati. He's right here, number 2. PFF, I believe, had him rated as the number 2 offensive or defensive tackle in the country last year, so he's a monster. Easily their best player. That's the word on the street. Dante Corleone, best player, defensive run stopper, guy you got to watch for in the middle. When I watch tape, I routinely see him doubled. So that's going to be one of the biggest challenges. Is Dante Corleone giving us matchup issues, or are we double teaming him, taking out of the game, and making everybody else make tackles because we have better athletes everywhere else on the field? If we can win that matchup, we should shut them out pretty handily. If he starts making plays, we let him get one-on-ones, and he's getting pressure up the middle, forcing Dylan out of the pocket, that is not going to be good for us. So we got to watch out for the Godfather.
All right, that's it for today. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. If I missed anything, make sure to let me know in the comments. And if you could subscribe, share, and like, I would really appreciate it. Be on the lookout for our next video, which will be a breakdown of our first opponent, Cincinnati. Take care. Go Big Red.